Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking all about albergues along the Camino de Santiago. So these are also known as pilgrim hostels, and it is the more traditional places that you're going to be staying along your walk. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you some important things that you should know while staying in albergues. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, the four main types of albergues are: number 1, municipal; 2, religious; 3, private; and 4, donation-based. So the first one, the municipal ones, are going to be the government-sponsored albergues that you find that most people do try to stay at along the way, mainly because they are cheap, they provide the most basic amenities. They're more of the traditional stays that you find when you're walking. Number 2 are going to be your religious type of albergues. Those are going to be run by religious institutions such as convents, monasteries, churches, and you stay in a more religious type setting, so they might have prayers, they might be run by nuns and monks and not monks. And number 3, you're going to have private albergues, so they're going to be a little bit nicer. They might come with blankets, they might have nicer amenities, they might be a bit nicer beds. They usually run for profit by privately owned individuals or groups. They're going to be a little bit more comfortable and a bit more expensive. I feel around the most time they're going to be running 10 to 15 euros a night, which still in the grand scheme of things is still fairly cheap. They're not going to be as nice as hotels. And number 4 are going to be donation-based albergues. These are people that just run it solely off your donation. You give what you feel that you want to give. Generally, people will give maybe about 5 to 10 euros. Some might not give anything at all. You pay what you can. And usually these kind of albergues are run by pilgrim associations and other pilgrims that have walked the Camino before and felt that they want to give back and they want to provide support to other pilgrims in their Caminos. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the general facilities that you're going to find in these albergues. Now they vary considerably throughout the Camino. Some areas are going to be a bit nicer, some are going to be a little bit more of the bare minimum, and it kind of depends, but these are going to be some of the most basic features that the majority, I feel, do provide. Most places that I stayed at did have laundry. I don't think there was any place that I remember that didn't have laundry. We usually got our laundry done every 3 to 4 days. We shared with other pilgrims the cost of getting our laundry done. Some, they will do it for you. You put it in a basket and you leave it, and they'll give you a time frame, or it might be done in the morning. And other places, they do have a washer and dryer that you can do it yourself, and you might have to buy a ticket beforehand, like a special kind of token, and then you can do it whenever you would like. And then others just take the euro coins, and it's up to you to decide whenever you want to do it at what time. Most of them did have kitchens that I noticed. There are a few that don't, but generally a lot of people do cook on the Camino to save money rather than eating out. So it just really depends on you. There was a few nights that we did cook, and it was a lot of fun because, you know, you cook a lot of food and you're with other pilgrims, and then you sit down and have one big communal dinner, which is nice, a nice way to meet people and a nice way to talk with the people that you've been walking with maybe for a few days, and just relax and share your experiences and your thoughts. Most of them, most albergues that I did find, even the municipal ones, did have Wi-Fi. Now it's not going to be the best Wi-Fi because you are sharing with 50 other people in the same room, and it might be a bit slower, not what you're used to, the super high speed. So it does have Wi-Fi if you're trying to connect with family or friends back home, send a few emails. If you're trying to look for doing anything important, I would recommend buying maybe a pocket Wi-Fi there, getting a Spanish SIM card, or if you do have T-Mobile back here in the US, your phone and your service should work in every country. Mine did, my friends did, So even when we didn't have, even if we didn't have Wi-Fi, our phones still worked, and it still worked along the way, which was nice in case, you know, we got separated in some way and we could say, okay, meet in the next town at the first cafe you see. So that way we could always connect throughout our walk. Most had common rooms. It's a place other than just your beds, a separate area so you can talk and meet up, where you don't have to disturb people that are already sleeping or taking a nap or going to bed early or waking up early. And a lot of them did actually have cafes and bars that were downstairs or connected that catered mainly towards pilgrims. They were open early so you could have a coffee. Some did have lockers. I don't want to say all of them. It is kind of on the honor system when you leave your stuff. So you usually will leave your stuff on a chair next to your bed or hanging up on one of the poles of the bed. The other pilgrims usually look out for each other. I don't remember anyone having a problem with anything being stolen. Now, it doesn't mean that you should be careless because anything can happen, but it is, you're already walking with so much of your own stuff. Nobody really wants to take another person's bag and carry that too. I'm sure they would catch up to you eventually. That is something you should be careful about, is making sure you do have all your stuff. You can't rely on other people not to take anything, but you do have to trust others in your albergue because lockers are more scarce than I would say anything else, any of the other amenities. And then some actually do have pools, not all of them. There are more hostels and albergues being built to accommodate the popularity of the trail as it is growing each and every year. So there is no problem to find a bed at night, because that can be kind of a struggle if you're going in peak season such as May and September. Another thing that I want to talk about is the rules of the albergues. So some of them do come with rules, and actually a good majority of them do. One, no eating in your bedroom or in the bed area. That's so it doesn't attract bugs, kind of thing. They do have kitchens and communal areas that they recommend you eat instead of in your bed. We know we're all tired, but you know, for the sake of other people and the bugs, don't eat in your bed. Most will either close at 10 or 11. You're gonna be tired anyways. There's not too much reason to be staying out that much later and to be walking that late. Most people end at the latest 6 or 7. We were one of the later enders. So just make sure you are in your albergue by like 10 or 11, whatever time they say when they tell you at check-in, because they will lock you out, and those people go home in the evening to go to their beds, and you might be stuck sleeping outside because all the other ones close at the same time as well. So just make sure you want to check that. It's not like you're given a key. You're only there for the night for a couple hours to rest. And be careful, because a lot of them are cash only, or you might have to spend a minimum amount to be able to use your card. I believe since they're growing so much more and more places are accepting cards, but Spain in general is a cash country. They prefer cash, and it's easier to them. It might be easier to use, so always make sure you have some cash on you. It's generally between 5 to 10 euros a night, and just kind of plan ahead where you're planning on staying. And lastly, I just want to talk about booking the albergues beforehand. So the municipal ones, you absolutely can't. That's first come, first serve. You can't reserve places for people once you get there. Some might, depending on the person, depending on how crowded it's been, they might let you reserve an extra bed for, a family member or a friend. But yeah, especially in the busy months, it's going to be first come, first serve. And there is sometimes a lineup, and people put their bags and they stand in line for however long until the albergue opens in the afternoon, usually between 1:30 and 3. And at the municipal ones, you're generally only allowed to stay one night. This is to be able to accommodate the next flow of pilgrims coming in, making sure that they have a place to stay at night as well. Now, private ones, you can call ahead. I'm not entirely sure how far in advance they will take your booking. We usually, if we were going to book ahead, if we knew we were going to be in late, we would call that morning and make a reservation for however many beds it was. Sometimes we were traveling in a group of 6, sometimes it was just me and my friend that I hiked the Camino with, and then sometimes the majority of the time it was 3 of us. So they will take reservations, same with hotels. You just call. Some will speak a little bit of English, usually enough to understand that you want so many beds, like 1, 2, 3 beds for that evening. I would recommend just learning a little bit in Spanish, so I would learn how to say that I need to reserve 3 beds for that evening in Spanish, and then they would generally ask, what country are you from, what time you will arrive, and then some may even call you to make sure that you're coming in, because if you're running late past your time, they might give your spot away. So always make sure to update them if you're going to be in later than expected or maybe earlier than expected. Just give them a call out of courtesy, just in case you decide to spend the night a town earlier and you're not taking up someone else's bed that could be staying there, and that might have to walk on or might have to sleep outside. So do it for, if you're going to book ahead, be courteous to your fellow pilgrims and to the albergues themselves. So these are just some of the information that I found along the way that I was researching and that I felt that was important to know before you go. You don't have to book ahead of accommodation. There's generally a variety of accommodation. You can camp, you can stay in hotels, the many different types of albergues, youth hostels. Yeah, I hope this video has been helpful. I love sharing my experiences. I love helping you guys out. If you guys have any more tips, I would love you guys left it down in a comment down below. Yeah, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and give this video a big thumbs up because it helps my channel out and it supports me, and yeah, I really appreciate it. Well, have a nice day, and yeah, see you guys later. I don't know.